Welcome to my quick tip tutorial on creating laces, loops, and bows. So first up, let's go through the snap and IMM brushes, as these will be used throughout the tutorial. As you might have guessed, the snap brushes will snap to a surface and can be used to create some really good laces or whatever shape you choose in place. Now this method falls apart when you need to create complicated overlaps and intersecting pieces without distortion. Now if you already know how to use Zspheres, you can fast forward ahead to the timestamp, but for now let's just have a look at some of the settings that can help you with these curve brushes instead. So first up, we have depth and embed. Now this we're not going to use too much, but it will control how deep the curved object will sink into the mesh when drawn out. A lot of these settings are dynamic, so if you update them, all you have to do is click on the dashed lines again to update the settings. And yes, these dashed lines represent the IMM brush as a path and will disappear when you draw out a new set or click on a different part of the mesh. When using curve brushes, they rely on these lines to work, so once the dashed lines are gone, so are the dynamic settings. Keep that in mind. To quickly explain the cursors here, by the way, the red cursor is your standard cursor and will appear when you aren't hovering over the dashed lines, and this cursor controls the size of the curve and can be adjusted on the fly. The cyan cursor, by the way, can be a different size as well and appears when hovering over the dashed lines, and this can be used to move the curves without distorting them. Another important feature to take note of when using curves is the fact that you can control the resolution of two factors. The curve steps over here will control how many rings are added to the curve, while the brush modifier under a different menu, yes, it's under a different menu called the brush and not stroke menu, which will control how many sides your curves have. This is also very useful if you need it. Now that you know this, we can use this information to create the thing we came here to create in the first place, being some laces or knots. And this time we will be using something called Zspheres. Now given that curves need a proper path to be drawn out, and given that drawing complex 3D curves are a nightmare, we will use the Zspheres to literally manually map out a path for the curves to take. Now let's start off simply and create something easy to follow and then move on from there. So to start off, we can insert a Z-sphere and then use the Q, W, E, and R to edit, move, scale, and rotate respectively. You insert the Z-sphere just like you would any other object. And to create more Z-spheres, I will drag them out using Q and then move them into place. Now, a better way to add a sphere like this is to move a sphere out and then add others in between. You can also hold down Ctrl after dragging out on the edit mode to move the sphere, or hold down Shift to draw the sphere the same size as the previous sphere. The sizes don't actually matter here, but keep them relatively consistent so it's easier to move and navigate on your end. I do have a proper Z-sphere guide on my channel, so if you are interested, you can check that out as well. But for now, if you want a preview of what to expect, you can scroll down to Adaptive Skin, make sure Density is on something low, and Dynamesh is disabled. After this, you can tap A or Preview over here to preview what it will look like. Now these angles do seem pretty sharp, but we're going to use curve brushes, so don't worry too much about what this preview shows right now. It's just a general guide for where everything is going and how close things are to one another. We will smooth them out as we go. So after you've created a shape that makes sense for what you want, or that matches what you want, we can then go on over to Stroke and then all the way down into Curves Helper and choose Copy Z-Sphere Chain. And then we can click on Create Curve, and this will create a dashed line for the curve brushes to work from, along with a standard cube as well. Now the cube is necessary as you need geometry to have the dashed lines, so you can just scale and move the cube to another place and delete it later, not now, but later when you have other geometry. Finally, after all this, you can select any curve brush, even a custom made one, and I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on, and then customize the settings like I showed in the beginning of the video. Then finally click on the dashed line to draw out a curve that follows the path that you just created with the Z-spheres. Now if it's too jagged, you can use the smooth function under curve functions to further smooth out the dashed path. You can click on this multiple times, by the way, to further smooth out the path. You can also go back to the Z-spheres and rework them to better match your shapes and try the chain path again. Now you only need to make the Z-sphere setup once and then save it as a ZTL, and then you can always load it into other projects and rework it from there for that. So if you have boots or high heels or something that requires a little bit of laces, high heels don't require laces, that requires a little bit of laces, you can load this in and then work from there as opposed to starting from scratch all the time. By the way, if you're looking at this piece and thinking after we tap A to have a look at the preview and that's exactly what you want but smoothed out just a little bit more, well then that's no problem. All you can do is again go down to Adaptive Skin, you can, instead of clicking on preview, this time you can go to make adaptive skin. Now before you do that, make sure that the density is what you want. You're gonna have to mess around with these settings. For example, play around with the settings, see what they do. We're gonna go back to preview again. Yep, that's exactly what I want, but smoother. So let's do that. We're gonna go on over to make adaptive skin. Now after you do that, you'll notice that it is over here. So it's not in the same tool, right? It's a different one. It's made it its own piece there. What you can do now is you can mess around with this under deformation, for example. You can then go on over to polish, which is a great feature, and that there will polish this down. You can press Shift F to kind of see what that looks like in your grayscale mode here. And then you can also do things like inflate, right? Just to bring that up and down depending on what you might want. So now as you know all of this, here is a full sped up demonstration of what I just went through from start to finish. Yep, so over here we're just using the curve brushes instead. I know you're probably thinking, why don't you just use Zspheres, but in this case I feel like doing this instead, and I just use a different model to do that. Now here I'm just manually moving this piece, and I also realized that, okay, I'm not going to do that with all the other pieces, so I'm just going to delete them and then control click and drag with this, and then just do duplicate it. Again, you can do these with Zspheres. I just prefer to do it this way. It's not a big deal. It really doesn't matter which way you choose. So yeah, again, just duplicating them, moving them into place. And this is one way to make laces as well. Of course, this is a lot more simple and there's not a lot of curves and stuff going on. But speaking of Zspheres, here we have them here. And in this case, just moving them, and I have a little guide on the left there, just on like how to tie. Well, I already know how to tie laces, but also it's a diagram to kind of guide us in that direction. Now for this, I made it all one piece, but I would probably use two different pieces, right? One for the blue and then one for the red or the pink there. And in this case, I'm just laying it out as I see it on the diagram, right? Not adding too many spheres here, right? Just trying to get a pattern for it, pressing A now and then just to get an idea of what it will look like. It will roughly look like this anyway, so you don't really need to press A all the time. And you're just really trying to get a feel for where this is moving and what it's doing. So for this, I didn't actually use the curve brushes. What I did use was the preview, and then I kind of molded it myself. But I will show you how to use the curve brushes if you need to. So yeah, nothing too revolutionary here. We're just moving things into place, and I'm creating that loop that we see that you get at the end of laces, just on each side there. And again, I would have created them separately, right? One for the blue, one for the red. And here I'm just checking it out, right? Just to kind of see like, okay, what is this going to look like if I move this? And we've already been through this, right? And we've already seen what it looks like when you create the mesh, right? Separately as opposed to using curve brushes. But yeah, I wanted to add more curves, right? Speaking of curves, I wanted to add more curves because some of these lines are a little bit harsh. And so when you're first laying these out, you can be a little bit sharp with them. But after a while, you're going to want to add just some more spheres in between, just to balance that out so it's not so harsh of a transition from one side to the next or from angles. And here I'm just making sure to kind of lay the laces down so it looks like it's going over the shoe, right? And in this case, I haven't really looped some of the edges together or pushed them over and under. And that's because I do want to kind of move them manually later. But I would recommend doing them now. So again, if you use it as a template, you don't have to worry about doing that every time. So again, here I'm just going to make adaptive skin. And again, I'm not using the curve brushes, but I will show you how to do that later on. And here, right, just trying to see what I can do with that. And then just, again, moving them, smoothing them, just trying to move them out here, and then also inflating them, right? Just so I can kind of get that back and forth there. So this stuff will happen there with the ends of the laces there. But here, just control clicking, right, with the gizmo, and then just moving these manually, just so like this, I feel like it's a little bit easier to do it like this. Of course, you might disagree, and that's totally fine. Just depends on how you want to do it. And it's also a little bit easier to kind of feel your way through it by doing it this way. Again, if you use the curve brushes, it's kind of the same thing. You just have to move the curve brushes. And again, with the cyan cursor. So just depends on what you want. So like I said, I will show you a little bit later on how to do that. Oh, that'll be in a second actually. But this is pretty much it for creating the laces here. So I just kind of move them into place, and no one's really going to know the difference there. So that's really about it. If you want to make one long piece moving throughout the entire model, including the piece that we first created, you can also do that as well if you so need. So if instead you want to use curved brushes like we've been doing all along, you can go on over to stroke, go on over to copy Zsphere chain, alright, and then all you have to do is go back to stroke again and then say create curve. This will of course create the sphere. Just bring that down, move that over, and then we'll just go into solo mode just to make that easier to work out. We can press B and then C. Now try not to use a snap brush, just use something like a curved cube instead. Just bring down the size a little bit, and then we can click on this, and there we go. So we have that, and of course you can customize this right a little bit, just move it, so on and so forth. And if you realize that, you know what, that's what I want, you can click on the cube, and then of course we have this. We can move this now, and it's going to be a little bit harder, and you will see things like this happen. Unfortunately, you can inflate that, or if it does, persist, what you could do is go back over to the brush and just move that a little bit, just kind of massage it into place. So kind of like this, right? Just like that. It's going to move it a little bit, but that'll get rid of the twists and curves there if that does happen. Now again, we've already been through this with the previous one, right, on how to do this and move it. So you can just click on that and then finally use this. It'll be the actual sphere here. It won't be a new tool instead. Now if you want something a little bit more fancy, you can press, instead of making your own ones, you can press B and then I. And over here we can go into IMM curve, right? So IMM curve, these are a bunch of custom curve brushes that have already been made. So here's a cool one here, chain, for example. If we click on that, you'll see it's a chain instead, right? So that's kind of cool. So we can, customize that with either a custom one or use one from the Zbrush library. So there's a few here. If you don't like scrolling like this, which can be a bit of a nightmare, you can press M for menu and choose one of these guys here. So maybe a vine, or let's just use vine. Let's see what that does, right? So something like that. Obviously that doesn't make sense for laces, but you could do that if you wanted to, or you could just create your own, which we'll do in a second. So if you are going to create your own shape, all you have to remember that you just need 3 pieces, or divide it into 3 pieces. So 1, 2, and 3. So the middle piece is the one that's going to be repeated. You can do whatever you want, kind of like we saw with the B, I, and then we look at the IMM curve here. We have 3 pieces for the chain base, right? If we just drag that out, you'll notice that, well, drag it out just a little bit less. You'll notice that we have green, that purple color, and a blue. So that there is repeating the middle piece over and over again, the purple color, but the green and the blue are not being repeated. They start and end with those pieces. So here we have a starting piece, the green, okay? We have the blue for the center. By the way, it doesn't matter on the colors as long as it's 3 separate colors. And then we have the yellow for the end. So this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to keep repeating on the blue or the purple, and then it'll start with the green and end with the yellow. So all we have to do now is just go on over to brush, say create insert mesh, okay? We want to say new, or we could say append, but for now we're just going to say new, for example. Now we can just do this, and that is not exactly what we want. So what we're going to do now is customize this. So we're going to go on over to stroke, go on over to curve, and say curve mode. So now that we do this, it'll be repeating all the way, and you'll notice that, yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. But wait a second, this piece isn't welded here. So what we have to do again is go on over to brush, go down to modifiers, and then under modifiers go to weld points. And then after you drag this out, you'll now notice that those points are being welded, which is now pretty much exactly what you want. So now again, you can be as complicated or as simple as you want with this. I would say keep it simple and keep it 8-sided. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just so that it's divisible by 4. That just makes it easier, and so on and so forth. So after you've done creating your amazing piece of lace, whatever it is you have, you can then go on back to the laces that we just created here. So we can go back to the laces that we created over here, click on that, and now there we go. We have that lace that we just created. We can just move that a little bit. It'll smooth that out. And that there is exactly what we wanted. Of course, if you want to change this or move this or whatever it is, go back to your cylinder here and make sure that you give it a proper name. By the way, I just called it cylinder. So if you press B for brush, it's just called insert mesh with the word cylinder on it. Not the best. If you do want to save this, by the way, just go on over to brush or press B and then just say save as, and then it'll save it as a ZPP. Now, this is the brush files. You can save this kind of wherever you want. And again, I have an entire video on how to create all of this stuff here. So if you do need to, you can go ahead with that. And one last thing before I end this, under stroke, you do have curve and you also have snap mode. So if you want to snap, you can definitely click on that as well. That is under curve functions. And for those of you wondering about bows, now all you have to do is again use the Zspheres to create something along these lines. This is obviously an incomplete version. After that, you can go on over and create the curves again. To do that, you go on over to stroke, alright, copy Zsphere chain, and then create the curve. That'll do this. Remember, it'll give you a cube, scale that down, move that. And in this case, I'm going to press B, C, and then I'm going to use curve strap snap. So you can use either one of these curve flat tools. This one here is just the one I'm using. So you can then click on that and you might say that's kind of what I wanted, but remember you can go on back to stroke again, go on over to curve functions and smooth that down a little bit, right? Click on that again, you might say, okay, yeah, kind of what I wanted, but not exactly what I wanted. So what you could do, and here's a cool trick with Zbrush, you can actually rotate these pieces. So you want to click, hold down Control, and then drag. Okay, and that'll rotate the pieces there. Make sure your brush size is just a little bit bigger, right? So click first, right? Hold down Control and then move the brush. You will create, and if you just hold on Control, right, that'll do that, which is not exactly what you want. So going here to the bottom of the curve, probably a better idea. Again, click, hold on Control, and then drag that, and then there we go. So a few ways of doing this. Of course, if you want to use your Zspheres, you will have to make a proper version, and then just make sure to do it again. I started with this piece right over here, right, and then branched out, and so that there's sort of my main piece that I'm using. Now, as for the other bow here, this one isn't as, again, you could create it like this. This would probably take you forever, so I don't want to do that. What I did do instead was I created a shape like this, something that represents that, just that one piece. What you can do again is going over to BC curve strap, and it's a snap one in this case, and that's what I want. I'm also going to use symmetry, so I'm going to press X for symmetry. You'll see it mirroring on the other side there, and you can see the orientation here, right? What I do want is going over to transform. I want radial symmetry, and if we do this, you'll notice it's radiating on the other side, which is not what we want. So we're going to go back to transform, click on Y and click off of X, and then back here we have radial symmetry. Now when we draw this out, you'll notice that it is doing kind of what we want, but these are a little too close to one another. So I'm going to undo that, make sure to press W, press X, scale this down just a little bit, bring it up just a little bit, okay, press X again so we get that symmetry back out, so we kind of know where to position this, and there we go. We've got a little bit more space to work with right there, and here we can just draw this out just like that. And again, if we need to, we can just hold down Control, click first, hold down Control, and then drag. Click, hold down Control, and then drag just to rotate that. And that is pretty much what we want. You can make that probably just a little bit bigger. Click, there we go. I'm going to click on this piece. I'm going to press W just to maybe scale this up, bring this down, Control, click and drag, move this, rotate this, whatever you need to do, right? Maybe scale that down a little bit, scale it on the inside, do it again one more time. And that is probably not exactly what you want, but I'd say good enough. So maybe something along those lines. There we go. So you can also, to experiment with this, I'm just going to undo all of this here. We can do something along those lines. All right, so same size, B, C, and I'm going to use curve flat in this case. I'm going to click on that, and you notice now it's a flat piece, so it has no thickness to it. So to add a bit of thickness to it, you can just press B, Z, and then M for the Z modeler. Hover over this piece, hold down spacebar, Q mesh, poly group all, and then you can just click and drag out, and that will drag out just a little bit of, and you'll see them sticking here, which is what you don't want. Hold down spacebar, make sure you say no attraction, so they don't stick to each other, right? They intersect instead, and there you go, you've got some proper thickness. I'd first actually duplicate these, move them around to what I want, and then I'd add thickness like that. And there we go, something, don't dynamesh it, and there we go, something like that. So not the most elegant solution, but honestly, if you want a very quick bow, this is what you would get. Of course, if you do it with Zspheres, that's going to take a little bit more time, and also moving them around with your mouse here, right, moving back and forth, that can be a bit much. But again, that is one of the quicker solutions to doing this. Not too bad, just takes a little bit of work, and of course you can always save these Zspheres as a template and come back to it. And yeah, that is basically it for this one. So like if you liked it, dislike it. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments section. Check out my other videos, my website, my blog, my paid tutorials, so on and so forth. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.